I'm Michelle and this is a gentle 5-minute Pilates session. So come on down onto the ground and let your knees be bent, your feet grounded into the floor, and really take your time here just to settle. This session's great if you're recovering from maybe surgery, a quite invasive procedure or injury, or it's been a long time since you've moved your body. So really allow time here just to drop down, sink into the floor. And let's have a little scan down the body, right from the very top of your head. You could close your eyes and just scanning down, tracking through the muscles, the joints, noticing if you can kind of drop anywhere, let anything release down into the floor. Allow yourself to feel safe, to feel grounded here. And just really opt into that feeling of sinking and using the floor to hold you. And then let's start off with some breathing. So pop one hand on your belly and one hand right at the top of the chest, above your collarbones or around your collarbones. And I want you to take a really deep breath in here, into the belly. And exhale. Breathing into your bottom hand, that hand on the belly. And out. And notice if you're feeling any inhalation into that chest as well, into the top hand. And what happens if you kind of encourage a bit more breath into that top hand and leave the belly alone for a little bit. So trying to inhale into the chest. Exhale, let the space between the shoulder blades sink, let the chest sink down. Let the back of your neck release. And exhale. And let all that go, but kind of encourage the body to stay in this soft, relaxed state. Pop your hands on the front of your pelvis here, so go quite wide with those hands. And I want to start to move the pelvis in a really gentle, small motion. So you're tilting the pelvis forward and back. If you've done much Pilates before, you might have heard this referred to as the pelvic tilt. And what we're doing here is just allowing the spine to move, allowing the hip joints, the pelvis to move. And really notice how when you move the pelvis, there's that kind of reaction all the way up the spine to the top of the head. And equally, there's something going on down from the pelvis, through the legs, and particularly that contact of the feet into the floor. And then let the pelvis find kind of the middle point, somewhere between those two forward and back movements. And what we're going to do here is let the arms relax by the side. Keep the pelvis where it is. Breathe in, and as you breathe in, you're letting your arms float up above the shoulders. And then exhale, let them come back down. Nice and slowly, with control, inhale, almost as if you're moving your arms through water. So there's that kind of gentle sense of resistance moving through. Inhale, arms come up. And exhale, down they come. Really nicely done. This time you're going to take your arms up towards the ceiling or a place that's comfy for you. So if that's closer towards the ground, that's absolutely grand. We're going to reach the fingertips up and let the shoulder blades leave the floor, and then let them come back down. And again, breathing in, let the hands reach up towards the ceiling, and then let them come back down. And notice how we're getting that sliding movement of the shoulder blades here. Really good for encouraging more movement around there. We don't want the shoulder blades to get stuck, and that's when the muscles will start to overwork. Great, and then let the shoulders find that neutral middle place. And then we're going to let the arms open out wide, breathing out and coming back in. And there's that little sense of moving through water again. Not just letting the arms drop, but there's a resistance to it. And with that resistance, we'll get a little bit more stability in the shoulders naturally, a bit more stability in the spine and the pelvis. Great, and let's make that the last one. Bring the arms back down. And this time we're going to bring the feet and the knees together. And this is a little bit more about activating the core here. So again, really gentle, breathing in. As you breathe out, we're going to let one knee fall out towards the side. And I want you to try and keep the pelvis in the middle and then draw it back into the center. Again, you could think about this idea of moving through water or thick mud. Not that we're often moving through thick mud, particularly with the knees, but that sense of resisting. The knees don't want to part one another, and then they part and then they come back. And that way you'll get a little bit more activation around the muscles of the hip joints and naturally the core. Now what we don't want is this kind of rocking movement. We're going to try and stabilize the pelvis. Good. And then let's pause there. Let the feet come a little bit wider again. And from here, we're going to inhale. When you breathe out, could we start to let one leg just lift to tabletop? Again, finding that connection of the center. And then come back down. So knee above the hip. And the other side. Again, you might think of this kind of travel through water or mud. And that again will activate the muscles in the center a little bit more. Really good for helping protect your lower back if you feel like you're perhaps overworking some of the muscles in the lower back, getting any pain there. And on this next one, let's keep the leg there. And then I want you to circle the leg 3 times one way and 3 times the other way. Trying to keep that pelvis where it is, rib cage where it is, spine where it is, and lower back down. Other side. Let the leg lift, and we're going to go into some little circles. And the other way. Again, thinking of that moving through water could really help here. And you should be able to feel something going on maybe around the core, maybe around the leg. And then lowering back down. Great. So then to finish here, we're just going to let the arms come down by the side. You're going to let the shoulders slide up to your ears and then let them slide away. Inhale, sliding them up. Exhale, sliding away. Inhale, up we come. And down, and last one. Inhale, sliding them up, using that kind of slide along the floor. And relaxing there. Great. From here you could maybe, if this feels good for you, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give the knees a little roll from side to side. And you could do the same with just one leg in towards you. Maybe the other. and then relaxing there. So you hopefully don't want to feel anything in the back of your neck if you've been, maybe you're hypermobile or often get a lot of neck tension here. We want to let that all release. You could give the neck a little roll around and stay here on the ground for as long as you can or you fancy, really. And just let that effort, that workload relax and release. See you again next time.